fifth round maneuvering as the Cleveland Browns moved into position to take the sixth pick of the fifth round, 144 overall, and perhaps there might have been a moment of foreshadowing. See, officially, the Browns are going to do.
The Seattle Seahawks have traded the 144th pick to the Cleveland Browns. With the 144th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Shedeur Sanders, quarterback, Colorado.
Cleveland has been discussed as a potential destination for Shedeur Sanders really throughout this draft process. At one point, maybe really early, at another point early in the second round, and then here it comes in the fifth round finally. Shedeur Sanders, Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, set a Colorado record with 37 touchdown passes, helped revitalize that Colorado program along with Travis Hunter. And in this draft process, he's been most unusual. Started at Jackson State, playing for Deion Sanders at the FCS level, then transferred up.
And he went to Colorado. He didn't have an offensive line in 2023, and then this past year, really both years, not much of a running game at all. Okay, guys like Murray and Hampton and Ashton Jeanty had more rushing yards in a game and a half than their top rushers did all year. But you look at the accurate, precise passing. One thing to be accurate, another to be precise. Shedeur Sanders is. When he's getting pressure, he has that feel, and he will take a little off, and he will layer throws. A lot of college quarterbacks don't do that. He already gets that element of playing quarterback, which you have to be in the NFL. The deep ball accuracy, he showed it at the Combine, he showed it at Colorado, he showed it at Jackson State. The ability to slip and slide. Yeah, he's not going to run a 4.6, but within the pocket, just give the kid a fighting chance. Colorado rarely did. When he had an opportunity, you saw the strike there to Will Shepard. Again, there were games like Oregon where he had no shot. Here he avoided the initial pass rusher. He rolled right, he made a throw. This fact he's like, just out there to stop. He's not athletic. It's a bunch of BS. It's not true. This kid can avoid, he can move, and he can make throws against his body like this. Key play against Baylor in that football game, Lou. I don't get it. I know you don't, but here we are in the fifth round, Cleveland Browns. Get a guy who should have been, in my opinion, a first-round pick, a high first-round pick. And you look at the sliders, right? The guys that have slid. The NFL gets it. They know everything. No, they don't, because the guys that have slid have done really well. Geno got into the second round. He's doing pretty well, right? Jimmy Clausen, Brady Quinn didn't. But then Aaron Rodgers, Chad Pennington went 18. Brett Favre, second round. Boomer Esiason, second round. Dan Marino, late first round, and now you have a situation with Shedeur dropping to the fifth round. Tom Brady, everybody said, okay, he was a sixth round pick. When Tom Brady was drafted, there was a quarterback that went 18th. That was Chad Pennington. The quarterback went in the third round. That was Giovanni Parmazzi from Hopkins. When Tom Brady got there, what did he tell Robert Kraft? They told him, hey, you're a sixth-round pick. He said, yeah, you're the best decision your organization ever made. And me, right? So we're talking about, are you confident, cocky? Are you arrogant or are you charismatic? There's that fine line there. I think there's a lot of perception isn't reality in regard to Shedeur and Deion. Deion's not going to interfere. Deion's not going to be calling the coach. Deion's not going to be commenting about Shedeur while he's at Colorado. Lou, I think there's a lot of just fake news out there surrounding the Sanders family and Shedeur and Deion.
Yeah, look, if you get out of your feelings, and I'm saying people who have feelings about Shedeur Sanders and just objectively evaluate him as a quarterback, it's hard not to like what he can do. A lot of mental horsepower. Talk to Pat Shermer out there in Boulder, his offensive coordinator, full field reads, the ability to really decipher pre-snap and then adjust post-snap, put the ball where it needs to be put. He's got that. This nonsense about the fact that he's not a good athlete, he's just an average athlete, this is just one play where he is able to buy time. He doesn't have a strong arm. That's nonsense too. He can put the ball wherever it needs to be put at the NFL level, all three levels, across the field, drive it into tight windows. He's got a lot going for him from a physical skills perspective and how he plays the quarterback position. This whole situation transcended how he plays the position and really became about, do you like him as a person or not? And that's why he's here in the fifth round, getting drafted to the same team after Dillon Gabriel. Simple as that.
Well, they've started 40 quarterbacks, more than anybody in the NFL, I think, since 1999 or so. And look, he slid for sure. Maybe there are lessons he needed to learn from this, and perhaps he has. But now we say this every year. It matters more about what you do after you're picked than it does where you're picked. So now the opportunity is for Shedeur Sanders to win the job. He can win the job.
Absolutely.
Now, there are other places he could have gone this late when he was sliding, and maybe he could not have. That might not have been the right position for him. But I think there are lessons to be learned on both sides. I mean, clearly something happened that made NFL teams not want to do it. So now, what can he take from that? He can take his opportunity now, become a starter early in his career, which is probably closer to something that they had envisioned all along. They just didn't envision having to wait until the 5th round for it to start.
Absolutely, but when I was asked pre-draft, hey, what's the best fit for Shedeur Sanders, I said the Cleveland Browns. No, I thought it was going to be a pick 2,
Sure.
or is it trade back into round 1? But he is an ideal fit for Kevin Stefanski's offense. They have some weapons in the passing game with Jerry Jeudy. They added Harold Fanta to go with David Njoku. They've drafted a couple running backs. He can live in that play-action offense. That's what he did best in Colorado. What was accuracy and toughness. That translates anywhere. So the slide is a little bit ridiculous. I'm with you guys. I don't know exactly what caused it, but this is a good situation for him. Take a minute, be upset that you fell in the draft, but I think now you attack this opportunity and prove everyone wrong.
And now as we flip it onto the other side of this equation with the Cleveland Browns, and what were they motivated to do at this pick? 144th overall after previously drafting Dylan Gabriel at the end of the 3rd. Let's look at the opportunity cost right now for Cleveland. The 144th pick in the draft last year with Austin Booker from the Bears. He signed a 4-year, $4.4 million contract. As far as a quarterback is concerned, that's nothing in the NFL. So for them, they have an opportunity to try and develop a player who they were out there in Boulder. Lewis and I were there. They were taking an up-close and personal look at Shedeur Sanders, did plenty of homework on him. I don't think anybody would sit here and tell you the tape for Shedeur Sanders was anything close to a round 5 player. Good enough traits to work with. You have an opportunity for him to compete. And while I would say right now Joe Flacco was the most likely Week 1 starter for the Cleveland Browns, it is not like Joe Flacco's standing should be considered cemented for the entirety of this season. It's open season right now in Cleveland.
And you know what? And look, Andrew Berry, the general manager, he may be playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. Because I'll tell you what, look at the quarterbacks that he has on his roster now. Between Joe Flacco, starting ability. Kenny Pickett has started in 1 game. Dylan Gabriel, there's people who would like Dylan Gabriel's skill set, myself included. Shedeur Sanders. You've got 4 guys that maybe have starting caliber quarterbacks in the NFL. You think there aren't going to be some teams who need some quarterbacks? One of the best times to pick a quarterback, Andy Reid used to tell us this all the time in Philadelphia. The best time to pick a quarterback is when you don't need one. Yeah. They are stockpiled right now. Andrew Berry's going to be sitting back this summer as teams are scrambling around because every quarterback situation always ebbs and flows. And people are going to be going, hey, Andrew, and he's going to be going, talk to me. What do you need? I got 4 of them. Oh, that's right. And you know what? They will sort themselves out. Shedeur Sanders right now, just go to work. Just keep your mouth shut, go to work. And let the cream rise to the top. And Andrew Berry, you may have made one of the smartest moves in the draft right here.
What kind of growth can this force Shedeur Sanders into? Because you remember when Deion Sanders went to Jackson State, Shedeur was a quarterback. He went to Colorado, had the team meetings out there. Our quarterback's coming. Now he has to go in and win the quarterback job. What can that do for him? Whether he does it this year, next year, whenever.
You know what? I think for Shedeur, his competitive character is going to be put on full display now. What exactly are you?